Hi, this is Nanette Hosenfeld with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, September 12th, 2017. Looking at fire potential impacts over the next few days, there's really nothing too significant as far as fire weather potential impacts. We will see showers and wet thunderstorms this afternoon across west central Nevada and up into southern Idaho. And then on Wednesday, we will see that precipitation continue to spread north and eastward to impact a larger portion of Nevada, Utah, and Idaho, with widespread wetting rain expected on Thursday. Over the past 24 hours, there was a fair amount of precipitation across the southern and western portions of the Great Basin, and a rather significant amount of lightning. You can see a large number of lightning strikes across central and western Nevada. However, notably with all of this lightning, there were very few new fires across the Great Basin. There were just 5 new fires yesterday reported. We currently have 90 ongoing fires with 17 fires. Looking at precipitation and how it compares to average, over the past 7 days you can see that the southern part of the Great Basin has been well above normal as far as precipitation. It's been quite wet in these areas. However, outside of the southern part of the Great Basin, it's been well below normal across the remainder of the area over the past 7 days. This holds true also looking back at the past 30 days, and you can see that precipitation is well below normal across much of the Great Basin over the past 30 days. ERCs are continuing to trend downwards across much of the Great Basin. ERCs are generally in the 80th to 90th percentile across the north, dropping down to below the 50th percentile across the south. If you look at these two charts over here on the right, you can see how the ERCs have really plummeted over the past few days. They've taken a sharp downward turn with the cooler, wetter weather that we've seen. I thought it would be interesting to see how the ERCs have changed over the past 4 days, as we've seen a really dramatic drop in fire activity across the Great Basin. So this image here on the left shows what the ERCs were last Wednesday on the 6th, and you can see a lot of reds and purples up north, really high ERCs. That had begun to change a little bit on Friday, as we saw a little bit cooler weather across the area, but ERCs were still generally high. But by Sunday, they had really dropped significantly, especially across the north. So it's just really interesting to see the quick ERC change with the cooler and wetter weather that we saw towards the end of last week. Live fuel moistures are generally close to normal across the Great Basin. These don't represent the recent wet weather that we've had, but in general, live fuel moisture is close to normal for the Great Basin. Satellite today shows high pressure over portions of the Great Basin, with moisture and a disturbance moving through northern Nevada today. So for today, you can see that moisture across Idaho and parts of northern Nevada. We will see some strong showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, with quite a bit of rain associated with them. As far as the significant fire potential map, the only zone is in central Idaho, where fields are still a little dry, but those should change over to yellow and then to green with the rain that is in the forecast. Looking at today in a little more detail, this map on the left shows our minimum relative humidity forecast. You can see minimum relative humidities are relatively high, with around 20 to 30% this afternoon. We are looking at showers and thunderstorms across much of the area this afternoon. Initially, these will mainly be tied to the higher terrain. And looking at winds, winds will be mostly light, although there could be some gusty winds associated with thunderstorms, and that's what these bullseyes of the darker colors are on this map. As we move into Wednesday, that moisture will shift north and east and cover a larger portion of the Great Basin. You can see, looking at the forecast precipitation map on the right, much of the Great Basin will see showers and thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, with wetting rain accompanying all of those storms. Relative humidities will be in the 20 to 30%, even higher in some areas tomorrow afternoon. Winds will begin to pick up across the southern part of the Great Basin tomorrow afternoon, ahead of an approaching stronger storm system. As we move into Thursday, there's quite a bit of moisture in place across the area. You can see a lot of green on this upper weather map here on the left. And with all that moisture in place, all areas in the Great Basin will be at little or no risk for the significant fire potential. With that significant moisture in place, you can see those really high relative humidities across much of the Great Basin. And as far as the weather goes, almost all areas will see widespread wetting rain on Thursday. Winds will continue to increase Thursday, especially across the south and across western Nevada, where winds will be increasing ahead of an approaching storm system. So 3-day precipitation accumulation kind of paints a picture for the next 3 days. Quite a bit of precipitation is in the forecast for the Great Basin. Some areas are forecast to see well in excess of an inch. As we move into Friday, that moisture moves off to the east. We will also see this strong low pressure moving into the Great Basin, which will bring much colder temperatures to the area. That low pressure continues to make its way east on Saturday, with some snow possible across the higher elevations by Saturday morning. As we move into Sunday, we start to see high pressure begin to build across the Great Basin, but there is a potential for another strong system to move into the Great Basin by Monday. You can see here on this map, this is another very cold, very wet, very strong storm system. So after the widespread rain we'll be seeing later this week, it looks like there's more on its way early next week. So looking at the 7-day precipitation totals, really quite impressive. Almost the entire Great Basin is expected to see at least some sort of rain, some sort of wetting rain, with some areas expected to see in excess of 2 inches. So quite a bit of water in the next 7 days. It'll be much cooler, much wetter than what we've seen. Finally, looking at the 8 to 14-day outlook, the Climate Prediction Center is calling for this pattern to continue. So looking at below normal temperatures across much of the area with above normal precipitation across the north. So that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Our information is on the screen, and you can also find us on Twitter. Thanks.